Scientists and non-scientists, welcome to a video where we make fun of a scientist. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are talking about my biggest favorite scientist sham, Neil deGrasse Tyson. This dude is wrong about literally everything these days, and I have to say I am enjoying myself immensely. And I'm not just saying like this is the woke downfall of Neil deGrasse Tyson, but we are actively witnessing an intelligent, scientific astrophysicist be utterly and completely wrong because he's afraid to piss off people on the internet. And he ends up going full woke and embarrassing himself, everyone, and it's glorious. I like it a lot. Neil is a sham. Listen, I just call him a sham because I don't like him. In my opinion, that is perfectly valid. I'm not saying his degree is a sham or anything. So I started off my Neil deGrasse Tyson hate boner back in the day when he tweeted this. In the past 48 hours, the USA horrifically lost 34 people to mass shootings. All right, that's pretty fucking bad for those of you that are unaware. That is a pretty bad fucking thing. On average, across any 48 hours, we also lose 500 to medical errors, 300 to the flu, 250 suicide, 200 car accidents, 40 to homicide via handgun. Often our emotions respond more to spectacle than to data. This is the most fucked up take on a mass shooting I've ever seen in my entire life. That is unironically the most unbelievable fucked up take on a mass shooting literally in the history of time. Anyone that has this take after a mass shooting happens has got to be the biggest fucking loser take of all time. But did you know more people died in car accidents? Oh, true. Never mind. Never mind the children that were just killed in a mass shooting. You make a fantastic point, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I very much appreciate that. Now, I wanted to cover Neil deGrasse Tyson on Piers Morgan because apparently it gets heated and very funny, and I'm here for heated and very funny. All the chaos in the world, that's what I'm here for. Now, I'm not here to say that this astrophysicist is retarded. I am here to say that this astrophysicist is a complete and utter hack shill, okay? And I'm not just saying that because I don't like him. I am saying that because it is true and I will prove it. All right, so first, here's a clip of Neil deGrasse Tyson on Bill Maher's show, okay? All right, now, the Nux hate train, listen, let me explain to you how I grow my chaos, all right? How I tend to my crops and my harvest. So, it all starts off with me investing into something when it's little and small, all right? I invested into Neil deGrasse Tyson's downfall when he made that tweet about mass shootings. And slowly but surely, my stonks have improved. He has drank the Kool-Aid in the worst possible way. Are you ready for the most insane little argument of all time before we get into the Piers Morgan shit? All right, this is like 2 weeks old. What I'm about to show you is today's news, okay? So enjoy.
Scientific American, the magazine. I remember when it was around when I was
grew up with it, yeah.
Grew up with it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, their editor had to quit.
Why?
You saw
That's
this.
so
Yeah, I heard about it because she expressed some opinions, right, yeah.
Yeah, quit over opinions, that's what happens.
Okay, sure, but it sure didn't sound scientific. It didn't sound like the person I would want to be running Scientific American.
Well, what did she say?
Okay.
It was a rant on Twitter.
Oh.
Okay, I could read it to you. It's really ugly. You know, I apologize to younger voters that my Gen X is so full of fucking fascists. Okay.
Yep, it's the fucking fascists. I wonder why. I, for one, wonder why she was fired. After this is, by the way, Trump won. Trump won the election, for those of you that are living under a rock, and she tweets, Gen X, fucking fascists! And this is a classic meltdown. We listen, we've already covered so many meltdowns. We appreciate the meltdowns. Subscribe for more meltdowns. I will be here for more people's downfalls, but it gets worse.
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not
a gasket right there. All right, yeah.
I'm not for canceling anybody on either side.
Yeah.
So
Someone send this to fucking the people trying to cancel me every day.
But here's what I think is the scandal.
What?
This is in Scientific American.
Yeah.
Less than a year ago.
Okay. Ready?
Inequity between male and female athletes is the result not of inherent biological differences between the sexes, but of biases in how they are treated in sports.
For those of you that needed a translation of shitnese, in the Scientific American Journal, it said that there are no differences biologically between men and women, and it's only society that makes men and women have different combat abilities in sports. That was published in Scientific American! It is the most unscientific shit in the universe, but it was put there regardless. Then why is there a female basketball league? Why don't they put all the male and female basketball players in the same fucking place? Let them all fight it out. Why do you have separate leagues? Obviously, they're different, right? All right, that was in Scientific American, all right? Listen, as a woke man myself, as someone that is living and breathing woke, okay? What the fuck? You're untouchable at this point, Nux. Don't say that. You're gonna incite people against me. Science says you're sexist. Listen, I'm just saying, I want all gender boxing matches and gladiator fights back in the mainstream, okay? All right, anyway, now, This is a scientist, an astrophysicist, a man of science, and he will surely set the record straight. Are you ready?
That's nuts. And it sure
This guy's a liberal guy, by the way. Yeah, that's nuts.
ain't scientific, and it's in Scientific American.
That's pretty fucked up.
And that's why the Democrats lost the election. It's true.
Because honestly, some people on the Democrat side, they're just not, like, they do not look at reality like it's real, all right? Listen, this isn't even getting into, like, trans women and female sports. It's just not even being willing to define the fact that, yes, there are physiological differences between men and women, which I think every human being knows, to be honest. And people literally have to gaslight themselves out of it. But anyway, get ready for the scientist.
Bill, every 20 minutes on your platform, you come up with another reason why the Democrats lost. You already have the answer. They lost the election. So anything you say
That's
is
not
why
true.
they did it.
First of all, you don't watch this show, so you don't know that. I know you don't, and it's okay. You talk as if you do, and you fucking don't. And that's okay. Just don't bullshit me. That's the one thing people can't ever do on this show is bullshit me. And that's fine. But I don't say that. I have very good reasons. But engage with the idea here.
All right.
What I'm asking is, Scientific American is saying basically that the reason why an WNBA team can't beat the Lakers is because of societal
This is my favorite take in the world.
bias.
What you're saying is not Scientific American says that. An editor for Scientific American says that who no longer has the job. So don't indict 170
Yeah, but she lost her job for Trump things, not because of this incredibly bad take.
year-old magazine because somebody...
Okay, this is Scientific American.
But-
and
It's like, dude, this is the most open and shut case in the fucking universe. All right, bro.
printing something
Because
that
someone enters
Dude
the
is like spacing out and skitzing out.
cesspool that is social media and then participates in that exchange. So
It's like, bro, I'll acknowledge the point that's being made. It's the most obvious thing in the universe. Just say that this is not a scientific take and it's in a scientific journal. Don't worry, guys. He keeps crashing out.
why can't you
let's
just
talk about science.
Why can't
He's like, why don't you just acknowledge it?
you just say this is not scientific and Scientific American should do better?
Well, does she still have her job?
No, not because of this.
She lost it because of a Trump tweet. Like, dude, this is insane. Like, this sounds like a skit, but this is real life.
I said the scandal is not her tweet. The scandal,
Because that was like a year ago, was it? Which one was a year ago?
I think a year ago, women still couldn't beat men in basketball.
Bap, bap, bap. Now, are you ready for him to hit clap back with the greatest, most inclusivity, feminism-loving response of all time? All right? You are about to get the astrophysicist take. And you know what he's gonna say?
Any other sport. And it wasn't because of society.
Society.
You don't see a
By the way,
problem here?
long-distance swimming, women might actually have the advantage.
Long distance swimming, women could win though. But long distance swimming, women are in fact better, guys. Which, by the way, does prove that there is a physiological difference. He's literally just confirming it himself that there is a physiological difference between men and women by the fact that women have an advantage in long distance swimming. But he's not willing to say that men are better in basketball or any of that shit. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. He's so scientific. He understands that he needs to pander to people. He doesn't want to get canceled on Twitter.
You can look into that. Yeah.
Yeah, look into that, bro.
Maybe long distance swimming,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
He's losing his mind. I don't think even he realized how much of a freaking shill Neil deGrasse Tyson is. He did not go into this expecting Neil deGrasse Tyson to completely cuck science for the sake of, what, woke brownie points? He's like so disappointed.
Just, I've looked into it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to file you under part of the problem.
He was not kidding. He was not kidding. This was not a joke. Neil deGrasse Tyson is part of the problem. That's fucking insane. When an astrophysicist is gonna tell you things that are literally just directly against reality, that's wild. Now, I get it. Getting bullied on Twitter is annoying. I am bullied on Twitter constantly, and it is sometimes, well, I mean, honestly, I make content out of it at this point, so doesn't really matter that much. But still, bro, stop denying reality. You are part of the problem. But anyway, just yesterday, all right, Piers Morgan had a whole conversation with Neil deGrasse Tyson about everything. And I am more than happy to see this because currently Neil deGrasse Tyson is beefing with Elon Musk. Now, this is one of my favorite things of all time. Like, the Neil deGrasse Tyson versus Elon Musk beef is one of the greatest beefs ever. So I am more than excited to see what this is all about.
What I can imagine happening is we feel geopolitically threatened and we say, we got to put astronauts on Mars. And NASA says, oh my gosh, we don't have a spaceship. Let's look around. And Elon says, I have a spaceship, okay? And so then the United States pays Elon to ride his spaceship to Mars.
Is that what happened in America recently? I don't know. I didn't watch this yet, okay? I did not watch the Piers Morgan interview yet. I just have to say, as a gentlewoman, I'm not a strong swimmer. Listen, but you could be. Don't give up. So don't let society push you down, okay? Listen.
Got a little...
You know, men are, on an average, men are taller than women, but that's only because society is convincing you that men are taller than women on average. In reality, not so much.
disagreement about the science of trans athletes in women's sport.
Oh God, they actually get into that shit.
Jim, the future of sports does not distinguish sex and sorts people by hormone ratio.
It's not sex that defines sports, it's hormone ratio. Everything he says makes him sound dumb. I'm sorry. If I had a PhD in astrophysics, I would expect you to at least think I'm smart.
You get a hormone test, you're in this range, and then you compete against other people with the same range of
That's
hormones.
ridiculous.
That's so fucking stupid. Prime time slop, ladies and gentlemen. You were not ready. You were not ready.
That's
Neil, that is ridiculous.
No, it's not. I'll tell you why it's not.
No, it's not ridiculous.
Every
Hold on.
single looking at America in totality, it's one of the fattest countries in the developed world, right? It just is. And by the way, we're in no position to lecture you over here either.
Your fish and chips is a whole other
With mushy peas.
bath and oil right there.
All right, here we
The world's
go.
most famous astrophysicist, Neil deGrasse Tyson, made a lively appearance on Bill Maher's show
Oh, it's what I just showed you. Ain't no way.
recently. His answer to a particular question sent him on a cosmic collision course with the world's most famous engineer.
How soon could Elon Musk realistically send
Oh my God, this is literally not even the same clip with Bill Maher. I cannot believe this. How many L's will this man take? How many L's will he take? He is literally on a freaking beating tour. He is going from show to show to just keep getting humiliated. Oh my God, man. But there is good news. The good news is I will be very entertained. So subscribe for more slop.
humans to Mars? Another good question.
I have strong views on that. My read of the history of space exploration is such that we do big, expensive things only when it's geopolitically expedient, such as we feel threatened by an enemy. And so for him to just say, let's go to Mars because it's the
Is
next
he insane? There's no way he really thinks this is the take.
thing to do, what does that venture capitalist meeting look like? So, Elon, what do you want to do? I want to go to Mars. How much will it cost? $1 trillion. Is it safe? No, people will probably die. What's the return on the investment? Nothing. That's a 5-minute meeting, and it doesn't happen. So,
Well, Musk's response to deGrasse Tyson on
shit.
X was tetchy, to say the least. He wrote, wow, they really don't get it. Mars is critical to the long-term survival of consciousness. I realize that it makes no sense as an investment. That's why I'm gathering resources.
I mean, he literally just clapped back. He's like, listen, it's not an investment. It's gonna be brutal and difficult, but it is advancement of humankind. Listen, I think Elon Musk has a lot of really wild fucking things. Like, dude, his underground tunnel shit, like, that is really stupid. But, like, dude, how are you gonna shut him down because you say, oh, we shouldn't try to advance humanity because it's not a good investment for some billionaires?
So, does one of the world's finest minds...
Like, but the funniest thing is, I really feel like the only reason why Neil deGrasse Tyson is actually anti-Elon Musk is because he's pandering to the fucking woke people. It's because he's pandering. Listen, I don't pander, and therefore I could literally make fun of Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson. I am so proud to be in the position that I am. Zero grift, 100% shit. I am here to literally poop on people across every timeline. I am not buckled into my own little corner of degeneracy over here. Like, dude, but this guy, he is so in his little corner of people that are like, oh, hell yeah. I'm so happy Neil deGrasse Tyson said it was society that's preventing women from beating men in basketball.
really just not get it? Well, let's find out. I'm rejoined on Uncensored by Professor Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil, great to see you.
yeah, thanks for having me back. Good to see you again.
You just don't get it, says Elon Musk. Your response?
Well, first of all, I'm not a fan of commenting on what other people commented about what was commented upon.
He insulted Elon Musk on live television. Elon Musk responds with one tweet, and he's like, well, I don't wanna get involved here, bro. I don't wanna, like, mix into other people's businesses, if you know what I'm saying. That's the word stuff. What the fuck?
That's just fuel for clickbait on social media.
Oh my God, this guy is such a goober.
So rather than just respond to what people responded, let me just say I've read extensively about the history of big, expensive projects in our species, going from the pyramids to the Great Wall of China to the Manhattan Project. And you go down that list, and the greatest of them, the biggest of them, the most expensive of them, related to the survival of who participated in it.
This is such like an obvious take, I think. Like, I'm really glad he did all this research, but yes, it turns out that a lot of the biggest developments in technology are because there is actually an external force that is pressuring people into doing that. Believe it or not, most weapons are developed because of a threat of violence. No fucking shit. Like, yes, good point. The wall was made in China to keep people out.
They felt threatened. And so, well, sorry. The pyramids was not that. That was praise of royalty or deity.
Except for that one. So in this broad strokes thing that I just told you, I'm excluding one of the major things that I mentioned.
It's another big driver that existed in the history of our species. Oh, yeah. Much less of that.
I'm sorry I'm making too much fun of this guy, but you are subscribed for the slop commentary, okay? You are subscribed for some chaos and a good time, all right? I want you to be enjoying your day. You could be sitting on the toilet, all right, taking a shit, and you just have me in the background, just yapping away. I will make all your chores easier.
Happens today, and most of it is driven by the I don't want to die gene. And so
pretty good gene.
So we went to the moon. We felt threatened by the Russians, the godless commies, around the world. And so these are the motivations that enable people to write checks. And at any time people said, let's do it because it's the natural next thing to do, it just never happens. If you go back to the Apollo era, while we were going to the moon, people forgetting that we went there as a militaristic...
Dude, no one's forgetting the Cold War. Did he just say, listen, a lot of people nowadays, they forgot about the Cold War. Yeah. I don't know where this guy's literally been, but is he aware of how close we are to like a potential World War III? All right? Like, I don't want to be rude here, but you do realize that is a big fear for a lot of people. You do know that there's a lot of fucking unstable countries out there with nukes right now. Not sure you're aware. I'm not sure you know about that. But yes, this could also be something pressuring people into doing big things.
Statement. People who forgot that said, oh, we're on the moon by 1969. We'll be on Mars by 1985. They were just extending a timeline that they thought was a natural, inevitable thing. And
this is crazy.
Nothing that's expensive is ever inevitable. So that's the foundations of my comment. And in terms of going to Mars as a survival plan, if you think about...
All right, so that was as far as his comment. Okay, now that we've come to the conclusion that his comment was in fact really stupid, we can move on. I don't know if he's aware that there are geopolitical frictions that are going on currently in the world, but no one should tell him about North Korea, or South Korea, or Israel, or Russia, or Ukraine, or the United States. No one should tell him about all those countries, who also coincidentally all have nuclear weapons, by the way, all right? I'm just by chance, just saying.
What could put life at risk here on Earth? That could include, global, very serious pandemic, or asteroid strikes, or we trash the climate, whatever. To think of Mars as Earth 2.0 could only really happen after you terraform Mars. And the point...
But isn't the argument saying that we should start doing that now? Isn't that what he's... Listen, I'm not pro-Musk on a lot of his endeavors and shit. But, like, this is not handling the argument properly at all. He's like, yo, we got a lot of work to do on Mars until it's possible to be habitated by humans, all right? Now, you can complain that it's not feasible, all right? You want to say that it's not feasible? Fine, you're an astrophysicist. You know more about this shit than I do. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that, well, we can't live there now, that's dumb.
I made, which was not in your clip, was if you have the power of geoengineering to terraform Mars, then you have the power of geoengineering to fix Earth and turn Earth back into Earth, as opposed to Mars back into Earth. So just realistically, shipping 1 billion people to Mars, or however many, by the way...
Hold on. He said a few things. He said because of global climate change type things, and because of asteroid strikes, well, we should go to Mars, right? That's what he said. Dog, terraforming Earth is not gonna help when it comes to asteroid strikes. Last I checked. Nor will it help with war. It will help in regards to terraforming, like the climate change thing, as far as I understand. But coming from a dumb shit like me, I don't think World War III or asteroid strikes will be stopped by cleaning up Earth's climate. Last I checked. Maybe I'm stupid.
Hey, I have nothing against that. I just don't see it happening based on my read of human behavior.
So, a lot to unpack there.
All right.
Look, I've got massive respect for you. I also have
that makes one of us.
A lot of respect for Musk. I also like the fact that he dares to dream very big. And I actually had...
Honestly, base, true. It is cool to think big.
The honor, actually, I would describe it, of spending a couple of hours with him down in France in the summer, where we got into the colonization of Mars and why he felt so passionately about it. And he said a few things One, he said we have to do this because at some stage, planet Earth is just not going to be a viable place anymore, was his belief. Second,
I want to say, like, I am chaotic neutral, so I just want to make this completely clear, okay? And I don't want to be, I don't want to say anything that'll ruffle any feathers, so I just want you to know. If you type in, does Taku work at NASA? The response is he is currently employed at NASA. So listen, I am obviously biased here as a NASA employee, okay, to say that I'm saying this shit, but that is my credentials.
secondly, that inevitably at some stage, planet Earth will be incinerated by the sun anyway. We don't know when that'll happen, but one day it will happen.
Yeah, true. However many billions of years in the future, I don't think that's super relevant.
Get your response
We
to
do.
that.
We do know when it'll happen, but yeah.
When will it happen on that point?
Oh yeah, let me check my calendar.
Right, but I mean-
No, the sun will
What a fucking troll.
Do we have any idea when that?
the sun will transition into a red giant phase, assuming it behaves like every other star, just like it. And as it does, its outer shell will expand.
We know.
And
Oh, bro.
the surface of
We
the
know.
sun will get closer and closer to Earth, and it
I love
will
how Piers Morgan's just like, all right, can you give me a timeline? And he's like, all right, so the red giant phase.
evaporate. Our oceans will come to a rolling boil and evaporate into the atmosphere. The atmosphere will evaporate into space, and
Right.
Earth will be a charred ember that wallows
Why
by
are
the
you
sun.
laughing?
And farther
Sonny,
from the sun.
you're painting a picture of utter extinction and apocalypse. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, that's it. No, because it's
Yeah.
it's not that it's funny. It's that it's in
I was not that it's funny. Also, I didn't answer the question, but anyway.
5 billion years.
Right.
So we have a whole.
Thank you. That's what I said. It's billions of years in the future. Yes, it is 5 billion years from that happening. So saying that, well, the sun's gonna explode anyway is a pretty fucking insane take.
Whole lot of other sort of prioritized things we should be thinking about between now and
Okay,
then.
but-
And then we might have colonized other our star systems.
Right, so
That'd be fine.
here's the thing about Mars. Though. He said, look, if we're going to do this, and he believes passionately we need to do this, it's a kind of backup, really, for the survival of the human species. He said, you have to replicate exactly the conditions of Earth. And he said, for example, if you forget about one vitamin, everyone would die up there, right? So everything has to be replicated in a way that you can replicate exactly what happens here on Mars. From an astrophysicist point of view, is that actually technically possible?
Oh
Is there
my
any
God.
reason why we couldn't colonize Mars?
His whole argument was that it's probably not gonna happen because there isn't like a big war incentive. That was literally his argument. And he's saying, and even if it does happen, then we don't need to, which is obviously stupid. Stop making fun of him for saying vitamin. He's British, okay? Saying vitamin is not the worst thing about being British.
From just a pure technical point of view of recreating the conditions in which human existence exists here.
Yeah, so just let me unpack that, what you said. So
There was not much to unpack. He's just like, is it gonna be tough to replicate human conditions? Lots to unpack there.
first of all, at the core of this, other than living in habitat modules, either underground or just, wherever, that have to be heated because Mars is very cold, and Mars has barely any atmosphere, so you have to pump that in as well. Short of that, Elon has great ambitions of terraforming Mars. I love it.
What? What? Dude, this is like Grifting 1.0. Every time I hear him speak, he's grifting to another side here. Oh yeah, Elon Musk wants to terraform Mars? I love it. I literally love it. I have literally been on his side this entire time. Oh my God, stop it, bro. Just, why can't you make your own opinion? Why do you have to grift to every side that has something to say? Oh my God. I don't want to offend women, so I'm going to remind you that women are actually better on long distance swimming.
Stole a coffee mug from SpaceX that had Mars on it, and I kept it on my shelf for a very long time. I don't drink coffee much, but I enjoy space-themed coffee mugs.
Listen, okay? That is weirder than anime figures, okay, dude? He stole a SpaceX coffee mug that had Mars on it? Ain't no fucking way, dude. Ain't no way. Right, we're keeping this screenshot. It's a good one. I like it.
Then one day I said, I'm going to have a hot chocolate. So then I put hot chocolate in there,
Okay.
which heated the mug.
Oh.
And while the mug heated,
All right.
Mars terraformed into Earth. So I said, that's a classy move right there.
Oh, Neil deGrasse Tyson for real. Tsuchikage style fence-sitting jutsu. What the shit is going on?
There, Mr. Musk. So and I didn't know that for like a year because I don't use them. I just collect them. But my point is that if you want to ship humans from Earth to Mars,
Right.
Mars needs to kind of look like Earth.
No
and by
shit.
the way, it's tantalizingly close.
Oh, he went from praising Elon to shitting on Elon to praising Elon. What is even going on? Dog, I'm no astrophysicist, but I understand a simple yes, no.
Properties relative to other planets. Venus is 900 degrees Fahrenheit. You're not.
That's why he said Mars, dingo. He said Mars because it's more similar to Earth than Venus.
Going there. Mars is tipped on its axis. It has seasons. It has approximately 24-hour day. It has polar ice caps, as we currently do. And so it's been the object of people's fascination for hundreds of years. So I don't have a problem with any of that. I'm just describing the practicality.
Oh my fucking god. He literally said before it's not worth terraforming Mars because it would be just better to terraform Earth. And now he's talking about how hundreds of years people have wanted to do this and it would in fact be really awesome.
Of it. And if you have the technology and the power to terraform Mars and ship people there, you probably have the ability to bat asteroids out of the way that might have been headed towards Earth. So I'm just speaking in practical terms. I'm not trying to stop anybody from dreaming. I love dreaming beyond horizons.
Well, that's the point I was going to make to you.
Ever got done.
Because I was watching the Bill Maher show live.
All right, he wants to dream beyond horizons, and if he is saying that it's true that the technological advances that we would need to make Mars livable are also technological enough to never need to leave Earth, that's a pretty interesting perspective, and I do respect that. But I think even he is agreeing that we should do both. We should develop our technology to do this thing, batting away asteroids or whatever the fuck he's talking about, and simultaneously terraforming Mars. Calling Elon Musk an idiot, I think, from his perspective, was done for social media brownie points. Because it's pretty easy to hate on Elon Musk right now because he's the orange guy's friend. So I think that he shit on Elon Musk for nothing. Like that's what I'm saying. I do think that what he's saying here does kind of make sense, but I do think he was really quick to shit on Elon, even though he technically agrees with the stuff he says, just because Elon's on the wrong side of the fence.
Actually, and that was the thing that struck me was, here's Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of the great dreamers, right? I mean, you literally have dreamed big your entire life.
Yeah.
This is your raison d'etre, is to think the biggest things imaginable, right? And there you were, it appeared in the moment to be kind of pouring a bit of cold water on probably the biggest thinker on the planet right now and his massive biggest dream. And that was the only thing I thought, well, the next time I talk to you, I'm just, whether you were aware that that was the way you were coming over.
I'm just trying to be real. I mean, I'm in my old age, I've just seen.
So when I was grifting and said that there is no difference aside from societal differences between men and women, I was just trying to be real, guys. I wasn't grifting at all.
How people behave. I see how things get funded. Now, of course, Elon plus one or two other, that's all it would take, one or two other very wealthy people in the world could, if they wanted, as basically a vanity project, send astronauts to Mars. But if you want to think of the return on that investment, SpaceX is a corporation, all right? It's not just some private venture.
You're right.
He's getting money and contracts, and he's paying salaries, and I presume there's a board that's helping him make decisions about that. And so in the real world, there's certain things that are more likely to happen than others.
But if you
So if he's just saying it from a perspective of likelihood, I'm not even like disagreeing with him saying it's unlikely that it would happen. But dog, why shit on it if it's a dream that you agree with too? Unless it's for grifting purposes, which I think is definitely super likely.
Let me challenge you on that. So let's go back to the start of the 20th century, okay? When there would have been people around who were saying, you know what, let's go to the moon. And people would have dismissed them and said, don't be so ridiculous. It's massively, prohibitively expensive. We don't really...
Why go to the moon? Who cares? It's expensive.
Have the technology to do this, blah, 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 blah. It was only really the power of people's dreams. Now, ultimately, you're right. There was a military context to why we did it. The West wanted to beat Russia up.
The face he made was glorious.
Yeah.
I get that. But at the same time, you know, I remember the great speeches by Kennedy, you know, about all this. And it was exciting. It was thrilling. The world watched as Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon. And those dreams that were dismissed at the early part of the century actually came true. They happened. Could it be that you're just... I hesitate to say this, Neil, but could it be you're just, you know, you're one of the doomsayers of the earlier 20th century saying we should never go to the moon because it's too expensive, it can't happen, blah, 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 which they must have been saying at the time.
Damn!
Way more deeply informed than your previous sentence implies. So a couple of things.
All right.
Going up to the launch of Sputnik, most naysayers about the moon had no confidence that we would ever accomplish such a feat. And they didn't have an understanding of the progress of...
Oh, so Neil deGrasse Tyson does think we're going to accomplish this feat. He just, simply put, doesn't want Elon Musk to be the one to do it and thinks it's unlikely to happen, question mark?
Science and technology and engineering and political will, geopolitical will. So that was not in the equation of how they were thinking about their future. And so...
Dude, I love how his response is, I'm just way better informed than all the other people that you were talking about. You see, I look at this from all perspectives. I am something of an astrophysicist.
Now, when Sputnik...
He does think we're going to do it. He just doesn't think we're going to do it. Don't you understand, chat? Chat, you don't get it.
Got launched.
He thinks it's good to do. He just doesn't want to do it. He thinks it's likely, but not likely at the same time. This is Schrodinger's Mars landing. Oh my fucking God.
What happened? Oh my gosh, space was pierced. And if it's pierced, that means we can do anything in space. And beginning in the early 1960s, the predictions about the future flipped.
Okay.
And it wasn't, oh, we'll never do it. They'll say, we'll do it all.
All right.
And that's why we'll have colonies on Mars.
All right.
You know, Werner von Braun was even quoted as saying, by the year 2000, we'll have the first human born on a moon colony. So highly ambitious statements, but why didn't any of that happen? Because we didn't go to the moon because it was because it's in our DNA, or it's because, no, we went.
What?
Because we were scared. And the speech you remember from John Kennedy, where he says, we'll put a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth, that's a stirring speech. And the hair rises up on the back of your neck.
All right.
You can hear him in his Brookline, Massachusetts accent reciting this.
Brookline?
But that's not what wrote the checks. That same speech, May 25th.
So is he implying, okay, it's like, dude, I feel like every time he does this shit, it's like, it's insane. Like, dog, you are literally biting at both sides of the cob, bro. You're saying that it's expensive and therefore it didn't happen. So why are you not incentivizing it to happen? It's like he's saying that it's a good thing. It will be a great thing if this happens. But at the same time, it won't happen. And therefore, I'm going to shit on you for even having that idea. Like, I get that there's a lot of insane fear. But if Musk has billions of dollars and he's actually writing the checks to do it, you should have zero complaints. In fact, based on what he's saying, he should be kissing Musk's butthole. Am I the only one? Like, dude is a professional dream killer because the person that dreamed wasn't woke enough. But dude should actually be kissing Musk's butthole. He is not only having the dreams, but he's also willing to fund them. But that goes against every principle he has as a grifter. Either that or he's scared of the Jewish space lasers. That is possible as well. I didn't consider the Jewish space lasers as, but I don't know if Neil deGrasse Tyson is gonna be into that. I don't think that's it. Listen, I get I have a lot of deGrasse Tyson fans in the chat, and I'm sure people in the comment section are also gonna flame me for these takes. I just know a grifter when I see one.
1961.
He found a way to both sides the dildo at the same time.
To a joint session of Congress, 6 weeks after Yuri Gagarin had come out of orbit. 6 weeks. Wouldn't utter the man's name. Before that, part of the speech that we all remember and that's chiseled in the granite at Kennedy Space Center, there's a part that's not chiseled in the granite. You know what it says? I'm paraphrasing. If the events of recent weeks couldn't even say Yuri Gagarin, if the events of recent weeks are any indication of the impact of this adventure on the minds of men everywhere, then we need to show the world the path of freedom over the path of tyranny. That was the battle cry against communism, and that's what wrote the checks in Congress.
Robbie,
but he's missing the whole point. Oh my God, he's missing the whole point. Someone just sent me this clip. I don't know what this is, but someone just sent it to me, so we're gonna look at it.
What Elon is pioneering is not what is impossible in space exploration. He's pioneering what was unrealistic in terms of price and just cost. So the engineering is getting a workover, but consider that he hasn't done anything that NASA hasn't already done. The actual space frontier is still held by NASA, right? And it remains to be shown if his new ventures have commercial support, commercial value. Because if they don't, then it's a one-off,
and it's a spectacle, but it'll go, what'll happen? We'll all applaud it, but then he goes on to his other projects. So
that is such a bad fucking take. I don't even know what to say. Like, that's actually just such an insane take. Dude, NASA never landed a rocket. Like, bro has a degree in yapology. Bro waffles for a living. I don't understand. I'm telling you, he is unironically grift activist first and, astrophysicist second every single time. And he is definitely playing this on two sides of the court at the same time. He is absolutely saying that, well, yes, dreams and achievements are good, but it's probably not going to happen, so fuck Elon Musk for even considering it. But I actually think it's a great idea. But Elon Musk, piece of shit, because of the orange man. Like, this is the most condescending, bullshitting, beating around the bush I've ever seen in my life.
20 years after we landed on...
Anyway, you're going to see. I am telling you this right now. I don't trust Elon Musk's projects, okay? I don't know if he'll actually succeed in doing anything. I'm not informed enough to actually have an opinion on that type of shit. But you could call this a Nux pre-watch moment. We will have more Neil deGrasse Tyson bullshit because he is literally putting ideology before science. And I'm not talking about trans athletes or whatever. You're going to see it everywhere.
On the moon.
Okay, but let me challenge you on that. Again, I just think you're missing one very, very important factor in this.
Can you stop adjusting your earpiece so that your liberal overlords are telling you the talking points to say, please? I'm sorry. I'm enjoying myself a little too much here.
Musk is not only the richest man in the history of planet Earth and going to get exponentially richer, by the way. He's already made 100 billion since Trump was elected, just from Tesla stock, right? But also, he talked me through the Optimus humanoid robots. And he said, everyone's going to have one. They're 20 grand a pop. And he's going to be, my wealth at the moment will be completely dwarfed. I suspect he's right. I'm going to buy about 5 myself and get to do all my chores. So he's got all this stuff going on, right? So he's going to be staggeringly rich. And he's got access to other staggeringly rich people. So the money part of it, coupled with his ambition, which is enormous, because I've heard him articulate it in person. It was incredibly inspiring and impressive. But he's also an engineer. I mean, this is not just some rich guy playing with a few toys. Musk from the age of like 10 has been doing data code writing and so on. He's a proper engineer to his bootstraps.
I mean, don't know.
And to me, it's the combination of a big dreamer who's a very brilliant engineer.
And he's wealthy as fuck.
Plus the money to do this stuff makes me...
So if his whole complaint is about the money, then he should be, again, glazing Elon. Like, if his actual ethics are that, yes, we should push for higher heights. Yes, people should try our best to colonize different space stations, spatial bodies and astral bodies and shit like that. If he is actually saying all that shit, and he thinks that it's good, it's just not practical because of money, then... quite honestly, I think that he should be glazing Elon Musk. But he's not. He's constantly not. Every single time. He's always anti-Musk. And when someone is always against a certain person, in my opinion, it becomes a grift instead of an ideological dispute. Like, dude, I'm going to disagree with half the shit Trump says, and I'm going to agree with half the shit Trump says. And that's just because we're both human beings. And we're going to have things that we agree on, and we're going to have things that we're going to disagree on. I don't know if he hates Elon Musk on a personal level because he's jealous, or he hates Elon Musk because he's pandering to the woke shit. I don't know what it is. I don't know why he hates Elon. My guess is it's the orange man bad thing. It could also be a smidge of jealousy because he was the big astrophysics space guy, and right now Elon Musk beat him in the astro space guy race. But he is so salty whenever Elon Musk comes up. Every single time. Every single time. He is so salty. And he honestly compromises on his own morals and ideas because it's anti-Musk. Like, you do realize his entire argument until this point was it's not feasible because there isn't some sort of geopolitical reason for the government to send funds to do it, but it's a good thing to do. But Musk is literally putting hundreds of millions of dollars into it. You should be kissing his butthole. Anyway.
Think, well, why couldn't he do it? Why can't he be the guy that does this?
I thought I was clearer than I guess I was.
Well, if you thought you were clear at all, then you thought you were clearer than you guess you were. But we're definitely taking that up. And to be honest, Piers Morgan agrees with him too. Agrees with me also. He doesn't want to say it in these words because it's obviously like a super controversial thing to say. But he's like, why don't you think Elon Musk is the guy? Because he's picking up. He is literally picking up on the signal that this guy's just anti-Musk. And if you want to be anti-Musk, that's valid. Just admit it.
I'm not saying he can't do it. If he does it, it's not a business project. It's a vanity project. Vanity, I don't mean that in a critical sense. I'm saying...
Oh, he means positive vanity, because every time people tell you that you have a vanity project, it's a positive thing. Thank you, Neil deGrasse Tyson, for giving you the... Anyway, maybe you misspoke. But, dog, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if buying Twitter was not a business project either. He lost money on Twitter, technically. Technically, he lost money on Twitter by buying Twitter. But to him, is it worth it? I don't know, maybe. It might have influenced the election, all right, in a way that definitely helped him out. Who knows? Did it help him? Maybe. Was it worth it for him personally? Maybe. Was it an investment? No. Not a good one, at least. Like, you gotta realize that shit.
He'll do it cause he has the money.
Okay.
But
All
it's
right.
there's no business case.
Why is he arguing against the business case? Elon Musk just says he wants to do it.
For going to Mars. And if it's not a business case, the history of that kind of exercise tells us that it's not a sustainable activity.
But the history books never had a guy worth $200 billion. Is he crazy? This is insane. This is crazy. In the history books, it's only because of giant reasons to have a lot of money. Well, motherfucker, he has a lot of money. He spent $44 billion on Twitter.
If he's running a business. But if he does it, and by the way, we have a SUV-sized rover on Mars right now that brought a helicopter with it. Right. So I'm not here to say we can't go to Mars or don't know how to go to Mars or can't figure it out. No, That's not where I'm coming from here. I'm just being real. I'm just trying to get...
I'm just being real, as he says. All right, dude.
And so yeah, he could do it. The question is why? Because he wants to. And if you're rich enough and you have that kind of background and visionary, yes, he'll do it.
All right.
But what I said on Bill Maher, which was not in the clip that you said, what I can imagine happening is we feel geopolitically threatened by whatever forces out there, and we say, it's like the space race all over again. We got to put astronauts on Mars. And NASA says, oh my gosh, we don't have a spaceship. Let's look around. And Elon says, I have a spaceship, okay? And so then the United States pays Elon to ride his spaceship to Mars. I can see that happening.
Well, that would suddenly make it a pretty good fucking business decision, wouldn't it? Like, dude, I am not gonna make believe I understand the astrophysics stuff. I don't understand the feasibility of going to Mars and shit. But why is he framing this as like an evil thing? He's like, Elon Musk is evil. He's making a spaceship to go to Mars because he wants to go to Mars. And it might end up being that the United States will pay him a ton of money for his spaceship to go to Mars. Ah, that slimy dirtball. He doesn't say it, but like, dog, are you serious? Dude, I'm telling you. This will be a pre-watch moment because I know that people are going to disagree with my take here, but you'll see. You will see. It will circle round. And Neil deGrasse Tyson will be proven to be a grifter. I'm telling you.
Geopolitically.
If he's watching this interview, what's your message to Elon?
I don't have a message. Listen, it's because of Elon that anyone has a daily conversation about electric cars, all right? He's a force of nature, force of culture on modern civilization. And I know the guy. It's not like, we're like sworn enemies or anything, but
Yeah, that's what I say about Keemstar.
We've corresponded. We're actually friendly. I'm just...
They're not friends. They're not friends. We have corresponded. They're not friends.
Saying that... Oh, something else that got dusted up was... I commented that what he...
All right. New topic. If you have a message for Elon, what's your message? Oh, we correspond! Anyway, interesting story.
He's done in space had already been done by NASA, which is normal.
Oh. So, Elon's lame because he never did anything new, unlike NASA. Cool.
When private enterprise comes in after expensive geopolitically inspired steps are done by countries. After Columbus went to the New World, it was only after that did the Dutch East India Trading Company figure out, oh, maybe we can make a buck off of this. Once the geopolitical forces established where the friendlies were, where the trade winds are, what products you might be able to exploit. And so it's normal, a corporation for expensive projects to come in after the government does it.
Yeah, right.
For things that are not so expensive, yeah, corporations do it. They have an R&D budget and they take it to the bank. No problem. But if you're going to do something that no one has ever done before and it costs $1 trillion, if you can pull it off, go for it. My read of history says it needs different drivers.
Okay.
I wrote a whole book on this.
I love how he's just like, okay, because this is crazy. Oh my god, dude. I feel like again, he keeps going back and forth. He's ping-ponging in his own head. Like, I can make any argument in the world you want to hear, but none of it will ever satisfy you. All right? Nothing will ever satisfy you with what I actually have to say. But realistically, that's the simple thing I have to say here. I think we're more or less done with this entire situation. Like, this dude unironically goes out here and he says that Elon's in, because if you want to watch the original clip, and let me show you the original clip again that he showed, because I want to show you how incredibly diluted it is to make believe that this is his actual opinion right now. Look at the original clip.
How soon could Elon Musk realistically send humans to Mars? Another good question.
I have strong views on that. My read of the history of space exploration is such that we do big, expensive things only when it's geopolitically expedient, such as we feel threatened by an enemy. And so for him to just say, let's go to Mars because it's the next thing to do, what does that venture capitalist meeting look like? So, Elon, what do you want to do? I want to go to Mars. How much will it cost? $1 trillion. Is it safe? No, people will probably die. What's the return on the investment? Nothing. That's a 5-minute meeting, and it doesn't happen. So
yeah, so anyway, it's obviously insulting Elon to do this shit. Why should he even bother trying? Why should Elon even pretend to care about doing something so meaningless and useful and useless? And then he spends literally the entire conversation talking about how it is in fact a good thing and he should definitely grow. And Elon is basically just the East India Trading Company. And that's a really condescending perspective to have for some guy that wants to, colonize Mars or whatever because he thinks that's the next step for humanity. And someone who's willing to put his own money into doing that shit. I think ultimately he is the exact type of person Neil deGrasse Tyson should be glazing if for whatever reason, but somehow he hates him. Now, it could be for any reason. I don't know why he hates him, but that's definitely the impression it gives here. I could be wrong, but dude, the amount of clips of him recently that have been circling has really been making me wonder.
it's a portfolio, Joe, that would still work on a college campus. Surely.
I would hope not. From what maybe some college campuses, the ones you read about are fucking insane.
You've given up on an entire generation, and you don't know how to make them last.
I have given up on any place that doesn't even remotely attempt to believe in free speech and thinks that anything that they hear that they don't like, that they don't agree with, is violence. These people are fucking nuts, and you should be calling them out. Somebody like you, who has standing with kids, should be not. You're doing what parents do. You're taking the path of least resistance and therefore hurting the kids and yourself. Parents ruin both their lives. They ruin their fucking spoiled kids' lives and they ruin their own lives because the kids rule the roost. So that's what you're doing on a national level.
I'm feeling more like on the porch. Get off my lawn.
Really? I feel like we're in the bar.
Yeah, like like he's scared to say things that he actually believes about. Oh God, dude, like you just search his name in and you see so many clips that are just so closed-minded.
So, can I ask, how would Merlin explain Elon Musk and his view of colonizing Mars?
Oh, so Merlin is wise, okay? So you can say, let's colonize Mars, but you have to ask, well, what's motivating you to do that? And we went to the moon, not because, we're Americans and we're explorers. No, we were like scared witless because of Russia.
Why does he have so much stake in this stance of his? He's like, yes, it would be great to explore Mars, and I agree that definitely we should try to do that and advance humanity. But because in the past it was unlikely, in the past it was done because of wars, like why even think Elon Musk's obviously an idiot for even considering it.
Union at the time. And we got to the moon. By the way, the clip that you showed, Apollo 17, but we go to the moon, we look over our shoulder, and the Russians aren't there. So we stopped the program. We had an Apollo 18 ready to fly. And now it's in captivity in Huntsville, Alabama. You can see all the rocket-ready parts, but we stopped going.
So basically, because in the past we stopped going because there wasn't a political incentive, you should, in fact, stop following your dreams. Good take.
Once we saw that the motivating driver was no longer there. So to just say you want to go, I don't see that as, we can go geopolitically. If there's some force operating, China says, we want to put military bases on Mars, whatever, something that'll...
Elon, you're a moron. China didn't even... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But dude, this is such a terrible take.
Prompt us.
Well, that's some of what's going on now.
Yeah, anyway, just the amount of insane levels of grifting that he's been going up with recently has been absolutely mind-boggling. Because this dude used to be the science guy, the space guy. And yes, you're right. Competition and desperation definitely do lead to advancement. But to say that you shouldn't follow your dream because China isn't strong-arming you has got to be the dumbest take. Well, anywho, that's this situation. I think we're gonna witness incredible things. I know he's gonna go into like the whole trans sports debate thing, but I really have like zero patience. Like the small amount of, I have absolute zero patience in the transports debate thing on what he has to say about it. Like if he thinks that it's only sociological differences between men and women, then I don't actually want to hear what he has to say. But thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Lord Nuxanor fucksing around and doing his shisa. Subscribe for future stuff. Hopefully Neil deGrasse Tyson does more science things and stops doing random woke yapping things, because it's sad and cringe. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.